Hey YouTube, this is Rishika and I'm in the process of making data stage video tutorials explaining each and every stage. And till now we completed the database. In the palette section we completed the database section and a few file stages in the file section. I'll come back to the file section dealing with the other stuff which we didn't deal with. And in the processing I finished aggregator, copy, filter, funnel. So now let's focus on join in this video. Okay, so yep, join. So obviously join, it's a processing stage, right? Yeah, it's a processing stage, and join is like one of those stages where you can join your tables based on the key columns. That makes sense, right? It's pretty much similar to what we have joins in SQL, right? If you have performed joins in SQL, yeah, that's pretty much it. But in SQL we do have like self joins, cartesian, all those joins. Whereas in data stage we have only four joins: left outer, right outer, inner join, and full outer join. So these are the only four join operations you could perform on data stage using this join stage. And it can have any number of input links. It can have like, whatever. It's up to you. Any, depends on the table, number of tables you want to join and all that. So yeah, it can have any number of input links. When you're dealing with three joins, namely inner, left outer, and right outer. But when you're dealing with full outer, it accepts only two inputs. It accepts only two inputs. It can't have more than two inputs. You can have, but the thing is the job doesn't run. It throws some error when you're trying to put like more than two input links for the full outer join. It takes that link, but it doesn't process that way. It throws some error, and yeah, all the mess happens. So yeah, whenever you want to have full outer join, make sure you use only two things. And once you have joined, you can just if you have more than two tables, then you can join and then collect the output data and then join again. Yeah, so that depends on how many tables you want to join, right? If it's a full outer join. Apart from full outer join, if you have like three other joins: left outer, right outer, and inner, it these three joins can support any number of input links. It doesn't really matter. So yeah, that's the thing. And it can have only one output link, and it does not support any other output links or reject links or references. Nothing is there. Just one single output link. That's it. Okay. And okay, so now let's see what do we call. Okay, let me just say the one which is the like the first defined input link, that is always considered as the left link. And the one which is defined, okay, let me show you in here. See, this is the first link, right? Sequential file stage 55. This is the first stage first input link we dragged onto the join stage, right? So let's see. When you go to the link ordering tab, see 58, this is the left link. And whatever you have in the middle, whatever you have in the let's say you have five tables, and the first and the last one are the left and right tables, and whatever are in the middle, any number, these are always like intermediate tables or intermediate input links. If you have like 10 intermediate, the link number gonna be intermediate 1, 2, intermediate 1, intermediate 2, intermediate 3, and all that stuff. That's it. But left and right, there are only one of each of them. So only one left table and one right table. That's it. So yeah, this is pretty important concept. And yeah, you can it doesn't mean that if you don't want this ds-link 58 or the sequential file 55 as a left table, obviously you can change it. You can change. See, now my left table is 59, which is sequential file stage 56. So this is my left table. Yeah, you can consider it, but yeah, whatever you can change in the link ordering tab. You wanna make which one you wanna make left and which one you wanna make it right and all that. But ultimately we can have only one left table and one right table, and all other tables whatever are there apart from these two are considered as intermediate tables. That's what I was telling for. Okay. And now The other most important thing is the data sets, like the input data sets, before crossing onto the join stage. They should be, I mean, they must be key partitioned and sorted in order, whatever order that may be. They must be key partitioned and sorted, because this it's a must, because obviously key partitioning ensures that rows which have the same key column values move to the same partition, right? Same partition or same node. So obviously if they move to the same partition, they will be processed by the same node, and that minimizes memory requirements, because there are only fewer rows to have I mean to be dealt with, right? When it's memory wise, I'm not telling it any other thing, it's memory wise, right? So yeah, it's pretty much it's pretty much good and optimum. And one of the performance techniques is, you must be, I mean, the input data, when you use join stage, the input data must be partitioned and sorted. That makes your job pretty much performance wise, enhance your job activity. And yeah, that's a good practice too. And yep, that's pretty much it. Okay, let me just put the data set here so that we'll be done with designing the job. Okay, and now let's move to the key properties. We don't have much properties in this join. Obviously join, we need to choose the key column. Okay, so this key is a repeatable property, and it has a dependent property, case sensitive. Case sensitive means it's asking whether this group key is case sensitive or not. I mean, if it's like, that's it. It doesn't really matter. I mean, you can just I mean, if you have capital column name, column name as capital letters in one table, and in the other it's not capital, so yeah, that's when you choose case sensitive. And if it's set to true, yeah, so it gonna just count it as the same. And if they are different, and if it's a false, then the job gonna throw some error and all that stuff. Yep. And you can have multiple key values. It's a repeatable property, this key, so you can have multiple key column values. And the other thing is, uh, yeah, whenever you're joining any number of tables, probably like full outer join or anything, like if it's full outer join, obviously too, but other than full outer join, if you're trying to join any number of tables, the most important thing is, all those tables, whatever those numbers should number can be, all those tables should have at least one key column to join, because based on that key column we're going to join. Because if you don't have a key column, if you don't have key column, it doesn't make sense to join the tables, right? Based on what you're trying to join the tables, right? So that makes a lot of sense, right? So yeah, whenever you have a common key column, I mean, you can have more than one, but yeah, one is a must, at least one is a must. So yeah, whenever you have a common key column between your input sources, and you need not type your key here. If you click this drop down box, when you have common keys, it's gonna show up what is your common keys. And you can, if you have more than one, you can choose among them what key you want to join on. And if you have only one, you don't need to matter, so just choose that. So yep, that's pretty much it about this join key. And uh, and the other thing is, okay, options, right? The other thing is options. So join type, as I was telling about it, I mean, if you guys know SQL, you should have probably known what are these types of joins. But if some of the I mean, if they don't have any SQL background, let me just like brief what does all this mean. Okay, so okay, let me start with inner. Inner join means it is transferring, or it is joining the input records from all the input data sets, and whose key column values contain, like, okay, let me let me just inner means, let's say we have some key column. Okay, we defined a key column, and based on that key column we are trying to join. Okay, and whatever the, based on that key column, if we say we have like 10 records, and out of 10 records we have two records common in these two other input data sets, it gonna take only those two records which are common. and all the other records apart from those two, it gonna drop from these two, like intermediate and right tables, right? Okay, so do you get that? Whatever those, I mean, what I'm trying to say is all those record whose key column values do not contain any equal values are just dropped. So that's it, inner join. And yeah, next is left outer. Left outer is, it transfers or it moves all the records from the left table, whatever your left table is. Mine left table is 59, so this is the left table. So yeah, 59 is my left table, this thing. So it transfers or moves all the records from this table, sequential 56 table, whatever the table here it is, and from the right and all the other intermediate links, it only takes up the common column. So yeah, and whatever we have in the left table, it gonna have in all the columns and all the things gonna move to the join stage, and the other ones have only the inner columns. And if you don't see columns, if you don't have let's say if you have like 5 columns in here, and you have only okay, you have only three columns in here and here, I mean the other two input data sets. So what it gonna do is, those the things which are not defined in this input data set, like the left input data set, those values gonna be null. So that they're just gonna be null. You can see it represented as null. So that's it. And the other thing, and the sorry, and the next thing is right outer. Right outer is pretty much same as the left outer, but instead of left table, it gonna take the right table. That's it. So yeah, it gonna have all the records from the right table, and a few common I mean only the common records between the left and the intermediate tables. That's it. And the full outer, obviously it gonna have only two input links. So yeah, it's full outer, right? Full outer means it gonna take all the records from the two tables and just join them. And whatever the key columns they're gonna have, whatever the common columns they're gonna have, they have the records. But if they don't have any other records as per the two tables, they're gonna just have null as the value. I'll show it. I'll explain. I'll just have each of, I mean, job design for each of them. So yeah, I'll show how this each gonna work. And yep, that's it. Yeah, you can't really choose reject link, so no output drop down, because only one output link is possible for this, right? Okay, now let me show you. I prepared the data. I can't really think of data when I'm like making a video, so I pretty much created it before. So yeah, this is my data. This is my so I made 3 data sets. So merchant ID, merchant name, and status. These are the 3 columns in my first data, and you need not really worry about these things. And for our convenience, I just made duplicates too. CR543, right? The other thing is, it's sorted, it's partitioned and sorted, right? Yeah, so we need to partition and sort it before the data comes. But yeah, since it's my personal system, I'll try, and I think it's gonna work, I guess. Okay, let me see just. And yeah, so let me just show you the data first. Okay, so this is my first data: merchant ID, merchant name, and status. And the second one is I choose merchant ID as a common column. Okay, so all the three input data, I have merchant ID as a common column. And now I have level, and I have everything in this, and I have an extra column, extra record too, which doesn't have the level, it's a null value. Okay, so this is my second one. And the third one, again I have merchant ID as a common common key column. So I'm gonna define merchant ID as my key column value when I use join stage. Okay, and these are the pretty much things, whatever, yeah, transaction amount. This column is transaction amount and merchant ID. That's it. So if you see all my three input data sets, they have merchant ID as a key column, right? So yeah, that's it. So now let's create the table definitions for each of them, so that we could just now create this. And okay, ds practice, just choose your directory and join one, import first line in column names obviously, and it's comma delimiter, so no need to change that. And define, and key is your merchant id, and make this nullable columns, because let's see if you have any nullable things and all that. Yeah, no, just make this. It doesn't really matter because we don't really get this type of data from the sequential. We always join with the tables from Oracle and all that, so you really need not worry about that. But just I'm showing it for because I can't do it on the database, I'm just showing it. We do have null record in this, right? So level this should be null, otherwise the table definition gonna show some error or something. And let's import this to join 3, first line in column names, and define and key value, and we do have transaction amount null, right? A few records have null, I guess only one. So yep, that's it. And now we are done with the table definitions. So now let's import our metadata into the input systems. Browse for file, and remember these should be parameterized in real time. And first line in column, I'm not changing anything in the sequential file stage because I don't want to mess up anything. I'm just giving the path and first line in column names, and just dumping the columns, that's it. Okay, and join one, okay, and okay, it's gonna show up data anyway, it's good. And now let's go to the sequential files, second input data. Browse file, join 2, and first line in column name set to true. And now columns, load your columns. It's join 2, okay. And yep, this gonna work too, so no need to check the data. It takes time because I'm running like the screen recorder and virtual machine and all that stuff. It gonna take time. If I click every time view data, it's pretty much like makes a long video and waste of time, because you guys know how the data looks like, right? It's almost 17th video, so yeah, you guys pretty much know most of the things about the data stage, so I need not repeat it every time. So yep, we have all the things in this, right? Okay, yeah, whenever you see this link and this thing on this link, like a blue and yellow small thing on the link, it means that we loaded our table definitions. It means that whatever the data we set in this input, it's now in the link. So that's what it's saying. And yep, now let's have this partitioning. So it's gonna be hash partitioning, right? And what's our hash partitioning technique? Merchant id and perform sort. And yeah, if you select unique, it means that whatever the duplicate records we have, they're not gonna propagate to the next stage. But I'm not selecting anything else, just leaving it, just sorting it, that's it. And yep, and next go to the other link, and now partition it again, hash and merchant id. And next output link 60, hash and merchant id. Just perform sort. Okay, did I click perform sort on the next link? No. Okay. Okay, so that's it. So we are done with this. Now let's choose what type of key. So see, I among these I have only one common key, right? So when I hit on this drop down box, see, it's showing up. If I have more than one key column, it's gonna show like long list. But yeah, since I have only one, it's gonna, so I just gonna click that. And first thing I want to have inner. Let me just show you inner. And okay, link ordering, let me make 58 as my the first one sequential file, 58 as my thing. Okay, I'm just making it like line wise, like the first one 58, 59, 60, left, intermediate and right, that's it. Okay, and now everything seems good. Click on OK and give your data set file path. Browse file and choose the same thing. I'm not creating any other dataset for every job. So yep, that's it. And you need not call dump your columns, because once the job gonna run, it gonna have its own columns. So yep. Oh yeah, we didn't map in the output, right? So that's the reason it's not showing up columns in the thing. So yeah, this is your output link, and because you have only one, you can have only one output link. It's nothing in the drop down. So you need to propagate all the things, right? I mean, as of now. So just drag onto this, and that's it. Now if you check the column tab, they're gonna enhance. Okay, now let's compile and run the job and see how the inner join gonna show up. So before seeing our output, the job is successfully run. So before seeing the output, I just wanna make ourselves comfortable. Let's just think of ourselves before seeing the data. Okay, so what do we have? Inner means, I said, only the common columns, right? Common columns which have actually the records. It doesn't care about nulls and all that. So only the common columns have gonna show up, right? So what are the common columns? Common columns are A100. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so common columns you see in all these are A100, T430, U897. Okay, and W432 is a common column, but the transaction amount is null. So probably it is gonna be okay. Let me just A100 is the first, I mean, one record, T430 is the second, U897 is third, and R543 is pretty much common in all of them. So R543 and R543, we have duplicates, right? We have duplicates, and we need not have, when we have duplicates, it need not have in all the other input data sets, because we already have one data set. It's gonna count it as one. So A100, T430, U897, R543, 4 records, and I903, 5th record, S257, 6th record, right? And R543, 2 records again, so 8 records. So we should have 8 records in our output data set. And because W4, yeah, and because W432 has a null value, so it doesn't gonna show up. So see, we counted 8 records, right? So we got 8 records, so that makes a lot of sense to me. So inner join now. Now let's see what, I mean, did we get all the records we thought of, or is it going to show some weird data? Okay, so 8 records, right? So it's the inner join is, it takes only the common records which has all values. See, A100, I903, R453. See, we have one original and 2 duplicates, right? So yep, 3 and S215, T430, and U897. W43 W thing did not show up because it doesn't have a transaction amount, and yeah, that's a null thing. So yep, everything, only the common things which has all the values, it's going to show up in this inner join. So yep, that's pretty much with the inner join. Now let's see with left outer. So before we see with the left outer, let's see what's our left table. Left table is 58 is our left table and 60 is our right table. Okay, so what does that mean? All the records from this sequential file stage, like 58 link, all the records gonna show up, and only the common records gonna show up from 56 and 57. Okay, now let's run it, compile and then run it. So see here, you have 10 rows here, right? 10 rows in this the first link. This is our left link, right? So we're gonna get all the records from the left link, and only the common, I mean, only the other columns which we get here, they're gonna be like, if they have okay, let me show you the data. It's it I'm trying hard to explain, but yeah, for some reason I couldn't get the right words. So let's just see the data so that we'll get a nice picture of what exactly is left outer join. See, so we have all the records, whichever how many records do we have in this join? Let's see, we do have A100, T4, I903, A100, but yep, we are good. I903, yep, we are good. R4 for R543, it's 3 times, right? Original and 2 duplicates, yep, we are good. And S215, yep, it's there. And T430, it's there. And W890, what's that? U897, yep, it's there. and W432 it's there, and Y878. So every much, like how many records do we have here? 3, 3, 6, 9 and 10, right? And we have 3, 3, 6, 9 and 10, so 10 records, right? So yeah, that's so it's basically pulling all the records from the left table, left outer, right? So yeah, and you might be wondering why these two are null. It means that W432 is in the left outer table and it has all the values in the intermediate table, but the third one, like the third thing, with third join, which has a transaction amount, let me show you. Yep, see W432, we do have all the columns, but we don't have the transaction amount, right? So yeah, the transaction amount. And Y878, we don't have that record at all, right? But in join 2, which is the intermediate table, we do have Y878 and we do have W432. So that's the reason it showed up everything, the active status and level and everything. So that makes sense to you, I guess so. So yeah, and now let's do the right outer join. So what's our right table? Right table is this thing, right? DS link 60. So how many records should we get now? Probably 9, right? Because it has only 9 records, right? Okay, now let's make it right outer. Okay, we didn't give a derivation, so something wrong with it. Okay, so now okay, so do you see why is this derivation is invalid? Because we are using the primary link as a right. Right outer, we don't have these things. So just okay, let me we need to map them again. So select all, and then it says that you don't have derivation for the merchant ID. So that's it. Just drag and drop, it doesn't really matter. We are not changing anything, but for some reason it shows that you didn't map or anything. So yeah, just compile it and then run it and see the data. That's it. So yep, see, and yeah, I was wrong. I completely forgot about the duplicate. So I said we're gonna have only 9 rows, right? But we have 11 records. 11 records, because do you remember I said R453 or something? That is duplicate. We have two more duplicates along with the original record, right? So yeah. So let me just show you the data and the join thing too, so it would be easier for us to compare how the data looks like. So see here we have 800 and everything. Okay, so this P324, this record, this P324 and J845, if you see, we have only transaction amount, right? And all the other things are null. And that, if you see only you the third thing, the right table has only merchant ID and transaction amount. So if you see that only these two columns and all other columns as null, it means that that record doesn't exist in any other data, any other input data, except this one, except the right table. And see W432, it's null in here, transaction amount, so we don't have that null. And all we don't have W432 in any other thing too, so that's pretty much null in everything. So yeah, and why it was 11 records instead of 9 means you have these duplicates, right? Yeah, you have R543 in your right input data set, and you have, I mean, duplicates, it's gonna count as 2 records, right? So that's the reason we have 11 records instead of 9. So that's pretty much about the right outer. Now let's try the full outer, but let me show you what did I say? Full outer needs to have only 2 input links, right? But we have 3. So let me show you what happens if you have 3 output links. Okay, now let's just compile and see what's it saying. So see, what is it saying? It says, okay, let me just grab it here. See, join state join 54, which is my stage name. Join 54 is a stage name. Allowed only 2 inputs when property join type equals full outer. See, it's not even compiling, it's not even allowing us to compile. So let's just take off one of the output input links and just perform the full outer. So let me just pull off this, and yep, remember these things, this bar, I mean, it's like bar graph on this thing. So those are like sorting things. It means that we have sorted the input data on the link. So now let's just have these columns, and we have columns, right? So let's just match our output to the columns. See, we don't have transaction amount, so just delete that transaction amount because the transaction amount was only in the third one, right? And let me just record this merchant ID thing. Okay, let me just delete all of them, it makes a mess. So, and just map it again. Okay, and that's it. Then compile now and see if it says anything now. Nothing, so we are good. And then now run and see how many input records we get in the final output data set. So yep, the job is successfully run, and now we have 11 records, and let's now see how the data looks like in the full outer and compare it with our input data set. So see, it has left record merchant ID and right record merchant ID. So this means that what it's just displaying us, these are the things which are present in left merchant ID, and these are the things which are present in the right table. So we have pretty much everything in the right table, except left table, except this E657 E657C. We don't have it in this, right, the first table. So yeah, so that's the reason we always when we say full outer, we always get this way, like the primary key shows what are all the present in left table and what are all the present in right table. And then yeah, the common things, everything like falls into place, and whatever the values doesn't have, it gonna have nulls. That's it. So E657, it doesn't have merchant name, status and anything, right? So that's, and level 2, so everything is null except the merchant ID. So yep, so what it's saying is it's combining the two tables with a single merchant ID, single key column, and showing us what's the difference between the left and right table. That's it. So it's joining the full two tables together. It's not like filtering out any data. We have all our records in this data, right? So even the duplicates too. So that's the reason we have 11 data. So that's pretty much about this four of these operations, full outer, inner, right outer and left outer. And yeah, that's pretty much about the join stage. You can have like you can just choose. And the important thing is, yeah, link ordering. You need to worry about the link ordering, because the link ordering defines the input data and so and all that stuff, right, which is left and which is right and all that stuff. So yeah, you need to be a little careful about the link ordering too. And yep, that's pretty much about the join stage, guys. And in my next video I gonna focus on merge stage. And yeah, once we are done with the merge stage, I'm gonna look up and then give a little differences between. Once we know, we can have differences, right? If I don't tell any of the stages and just tell the differences, it doesn't really make sense to me. At least to me. So I thought of telling individual stages first, and then make a short video about the differences of between these two stages. So yep, that's it, guys. Thank you for watching, and thanks for your encouragement.